All right, so I just got off the phone with one of the companies that we're working with, founder of a cybersecurity company over in the US. We just managed to help them close a $4.3 million per year contract. Originally, I thought this contract was going to be $4.3 million over 3 to 5 years, like a usual cybersecurity contract or like IC services agreement, but it just so happens that this is $4.3 million a year. So this is one of the biggest contracts that I've ever won, on behalf of my company or for myself or for someone else. So I wanted to make this video today to walk you guys through the content strategy and the sales process that we used to help this company, the cybersecurity company, win this massive multi-million dollar contract so that you can do exactly the same thing, or at least you can get a little bit closer to doing something very similar, because the $4.3 million contract is pretty big. But if you can make 500K from this or 100K, then the job of watching this video, my job is done. Just watching this video is going to give you so much value that hopefully you'll make some money from it. So how exactly did we do this? What are the steps? What were the functions? Let's just jump into it. So what I've discovered over the last few years, I've been working in the cybersecurity industry. Most of the clients, the people that we work with, are in cybersecurity, tech, IT services. If you don't know me very well, my background is in sales and business development for cybersecurity companies and for IT companies. So I know the industry very well. And what I've seen over the last few years is that there is a massive lack of trust, not just in the IT industry, but in the B2B industry and even in the B2C industry, just overall. There's so many people now that are online, sending messages, sending emails, cold calling. There's so many people you're competing against, not even just in your industry, but just, different products and services. They're all trying to compete for the attention and to get the money from the same type of customer and prospect. And because there's so much competition, it means there's a lot of noise out there in the market. So it's very hard for you, first of all, to get attention. And secondly, it's very hard for you to actually get the decision makers on the phone. So that's the number one thing that we had to solve. And I feel like we've managed to solve that, of course, because we've been able to win this contract. But that was the real main thing that we struggled with for a long time at my company, even just for myself in my company, to get clients myself. And so what it really comes down to is manufacturing trust. Because most people just don't trust you because they've either been burnt in the past, or everyone is, giving away the same promises or promising the same thing, trying to deliver the same solutions. There's absolutely no way that every person and every company can deliver the same solution, because not everyone has had the same level of experience. They've not come across the same challenges. So it doesn't make sense. That's why there's so much lack of trust out there. So you have to be able to manufacture trust to get people on a call. If you're a cybersecurity company right now, if you're a founder of a B2B or whatever in any industry, if your sales process requires you to get the decision maker on the phone, then typically you're probably sending outbound messages, you're sending emails, and you're just relentlessly following up with those people. You have to understand that everyone is doing the same thing as you. So to get someone on the phone, it requires a big time investment from that decision maker. Plus, there's usually a few decision makers that you have to win over anyway. So there's this huge, big problem that a lot of these B2B companies have, specifically B2B, because there's more decision makers than in a B2C environment. And so you have to manufacture that trust by creating content. So that's what we did. What we did was create a video sales letter. This is essentially the main foundational sales asset that sells the decision maker or the prospect or your target customer on the process and the mechanism that you use to deliver a solution. So in the case of this cybersecurity company, we created a video that outlined specifically the benefits of their solution and the process that they use to deliver that solution. And so now, by having that sales video, they're able to differentiate themselves from every other cybersecurity company out there. Because most companies, most people, they don't have a process. And if they do, they don't deliver it in a way that gets results. And they certainly don't explain it in a way that helps people understand what they do. Because if you're going to work with someone, you want to know how it is that they're going to get the results, especially if they're promising you a solution, right? Promising you a result. You want to know what it is that they're going to be doing to get there. And it's not enough just to say that do something with the IT equipment or for the systems or in a marketing sense. It's not enough to say we can help you generate leads or book more sales calls through Facebook ads. We need, as customers, as buyers, a very specific process, and it has to be there in front of us, because many of us have been burnt in the past. Like I said, there's a lack of trust. So we created this video sales letter. This video sales letter was about 5 minutes long. Sometimes we create videos that are longer, some are shorter. There's not always just one video, by the way. You have different video sales letters for different offers, different solutions. When it comes to a cybersecurity company, there's often different services that you provide. So one video is not going to be enough. You need multiple video sales letters. For this particular company, they were selling an offer that was very specific to CISOs, Chief Information Security Officers. If you're watching this video, you're a tech founder, you know how hard it is to get in front of CISOs. But we created this video that aligned with what they are trying to achieve, which was actually saving them a heap of money. I think this particular solution was able to save the CISOs millions of dollars if they were with, a big enterprise company. So because you're able to save so much money, it just makes the CISO look good. So we created a video that aligned to their logical and emotional buyer triggers. Okay, it's not enough just to be logical on how much money you can save. You also have to talk about the emotion of it. It's going to make the CISO look good. It's going to build their reputation. It means that with the money that they save, they can then invest that into something else that is going to help them in another part of their journey, somewhere else along the way. So we created a video around that. But that's not all, because if you create a video, you need to be able to get traffic. You have to get CISOs to be able to actually watch it. So in addition to that, we created a content system around this sales video, because we had already had the video sales letter, the main foundational sales asset. It means that we could create lots of pieces of content and publish those pieces of content around every corner of the web. I'm talking about LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, etc. And you might be thinking, with a cybersecurity company, why are they posting on TikTok? Well, look, that's totally up to you. As a technology founder, it's a very controversial issue, but that's what we did. We were posting this content on TikTok as well. The CISO didn't come from TikTok. The point of this content strategy is to ensure that when you reach out to a prospect, to a buyer, to a customer, or a potential customer, in this case a CISO, that you have an audience which allows you to provide some level of social proof, but it also means that you've got video content that sells people on you, your approach, your product, your services, your solution, before they ever book a call. So it means that when CISOs are searching for things, they came across this content, and because they were pre-sold, it meant that when the cybersecurity company that we were working with reached out to this particular CISO, because there's a limited amount of them. They were only going for the CISOs in the US, so they had a big list of these CISOs. You can get that list of LinkedIn, it's pretty straightforward. And so when they reached out to this particular CISO, they had already seen the content from this particular cybersecurity company. Now, just seeing the content isn't enough. You have to have a sales process on the back end. And so what we did was make sure that this CISO was sent a link to this video sales letter. Not from a direct email, by the way, there was already a conversation flowing, but the idea here is to make sure that you have content and assets that help people achieve small wins along the way to a much bigger problem that you can solve. So the big problem is what this $4.3 million contract was able to solve for the CISO. It meant that they could save millions of dollars on their IT services. I think it was something to do with Splunk specifically, from the top of my head. You can check that out later on. And so when we reached out to this CISO, it meant that they had already seen the content. They were already pre-warmed up on the products, on the services that this particular cybersecurity company could offer. And so when we reached out to this person, they were already kind of pre-sold. So it was just a case of getting them on a call and presenting them with a demo, which is essentially what the video sales letter is, but a demo allows you to answer more customized questions from the prospect, because everyone thinks that their business or what they offer is completely different, right? So they want to make sure that what you're offering is going to align to them. You still have to have that sales call. But the idea here is that we use content to pre-sell this particular CISO, to get them on the phone, and then we had a process in place to follow up with that CISO until they eventually push through a deal with their decision-making team for a $4.3 million per year contract. And one of the most important things here that you guys really need to understand is that the content didn't just sell the CISO, it also sold the other decision makers in the company. And so this way, it was very easy for the CISO to use additional sales assets. Like I said at the beginning, there's not just one video sales letter, there's multiple sales assets. The CISO could use those sales assets along with the company that we're working with. They can push these sales assets in front of those core decision makers so that they can see exactly how this solution is going to align to their emotional and logical buyer triggers. And that's really what it comes down to, making sure that you've got the right assets in place so that your ideal customers can see that content throughout their buyer journey, and you're constantly presenting them with these pieces of content that is going to help them solve problems. Now, this is the exact same system that we use at Video CEOs. We've got content on our website, we're posting content on different social media channels. It doesn't matter if you are only trying to target a very specific type of customer profile, let's say in this case CISOs, and you know that they spend most of their time on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter, because you need to have content in different places online so you can build the social proof, so that you can build the audience. Plus, in addition to it, the CISOs have always got people under them, okay? They have a team, they work within an organization. So it's good to be able to manufacture trust with people within their team, the people below them, through the content that you're able to publish on different social media channels. This way you're showing up all the time, everywhere, you're helping people solve problems, you're providing valuable content, and over time, it becomes a process that works automatically even while you sleep. And very rarely will you actually have to reach out to certain people to get them on the phone. Most of the time, if you do this correctly, you're going to get more inbound appointments. And so that means that you can reduce the size of your sales team. It means that you can spend less money on ads, and therefore your profit margin goes up because the content, once it's made, is organic. It's all optimized for search. And so when it's optimized for search, people can just find it throughout their buyer journey. And if they don't, you can use your sales team, your appointment setters, to push that content in front of them to help them solve problems. This is what's going to differentiate you from everyone else, because you have things there that show off what your process is. It also explains something complex and puts it into a very simple format. That's why we use videos, but you could use blog articles and things like that. We use videos to do this. I'm sure it can work with other pieces of content. In fact, you should be posting not just videos, but different pieces of content. Of course, video content is the highest leverage, so you can make one video and cut it down into multiple formats. That's the whole idea of what we do in the system that we use. So this way you're building and manufacturing trust with people so they know, like, and trust you before they ever reach out to a salesperson. And then when they do book that inbound sales demo or that sales meeting, they're already pre-sold. You've just got to answer very specific, customized questions. So if you found value from this video, make sure you subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.